Yeah. Well, the creative process is as pleasurable as it is to work with the material. The creative process is a sort of an unfolding of leather's potential. So I'm always looking for ways to use leather that exploit the characteristics of leather. Its flexibility and a lot of subtle attributes that would be hard for me to pin down, but I sense them, I feel them, I smell them, and the responsive leather, I think a potter would understand. And then you get to watch the leather, same thing with the sandals, go through these changes, gradual changes as they get older and change their form, and their weaknesses become clear, and all of it is a metaphor for life in our bodies, I'm sure. I read it that way anyway. Well, there, I've cut this, used the pattern, and I've cut this into 3 almost equal width. Oh, you ask about being a vegetarian. Well, I'm not really quite a pure vegetarian. I still eat fish, for which I have no explanation. I just was not ready to give up fish. But I was a vegetarian, strict at various times in my life, and went off the wagon for some reason. I don't think I was quite prepared to do it. And a few years ago, I had a revelation, and realized that every drumstick or wing or rib that I ate had to come from a dead animal, and it was dead because it was butchered, sometimes in a most cruel manner, so that I could eat it. Now, it's true that I've been working with leather all these years, and I guess I always considered it a byproduct, but I realize there's not a lot of truth in my approach, but I just decided that I had to make a change and not encourage factory farming of animals for food. And having a son who's a butcher, it makes it harder. It puts me to the test. But that's been my choice. Well, there, I've prepared it, stuffed it, and I'll let this dry. And when it dries, I'll braid it. So we'll have to leave that for. In the early 50s, my mother worked for Walter Lantz Studios. So she was a cartoonist. That's probably where a lot of this comes from. Well, once I fancied myself a hunter, and my one hunting trip was to the Everglades, and I worked in a guns and armory museum when I was 18, going to junior college, 19. So I bought a gun, I bought a pistol, a Colt pistol, and you may know that Colt is no longer in business. They no longer make guns. So I went on this hunting trip, and I shot a bird, a big, beautiful black bird. Offhand, it was an exceptional shot. I was quite pleased myself. And then when I got back to the house on stilts where some Florida crackers were living, and knew the fellow that I was hunting with, so we stopped and They asked how the hunting was and asked if if either of us had seen any of their ravens, and described the 2 ravens that they considered their wild pets. Well, that was the last time I ever hunted. It was terrible. I went and picked up the raven, found it in an undercover, and it was a big, beautiful bird, wide wingspan. I held it up, and it was still warm, and that cemented for me my intention never to kill anything again. That was bad for the raven, but it's probably good for me and all the creatures that I might have killed afterward. So I wasn't a hunter. I did, however, have to kill a fox once. I was living rurally in a little cabin on acreage in Northern California, and my wife and I had chickens, and they were being ravaged. One a night, something broke in to the hen house and took a portion of one hen and left all of the rest of the hens terrorized and left mangled remains. So that was after maybe loss of 7 or 8 chickens, we determined we'd better do something about it. Our flock was already down to half. So we set up a have-a-heart trap, and that's a steel and wire box, maybe 3 feet long and a foot high, foot wide. We baited it, and the next morning found a fox inside it. And with that same Colt, I shot it, killed it. We took it out of the have-a-heart, and I skinned it, and that's when we discovered that it was a lactating mother, which meant that her kits were someplace left behind and would probably, almost certainly, have perished without the mother. So I haven't killed anything else. Those were my 2 sins. I do continue, though, to use the outside of the animal, and for years I maintained that it was a secondary product from the cattle industry, and that's true. Something would be done with those hides, but I realize I'm a little shaky philosophical ground. But well, that's what I do.
Any words for your grandsons?
The boys. Well, I guess I'd suggest to Delano and Henry that they follow their heart, find something that gives them comfort. It's a giving that they give, that they become givers instead of takers.